Salmon fishing is one of the oldest and most important marine economic activities, especially in cold seas such as North America, Europe, and Northeast Asia. Salmon is not only an important food source but also has high economic value due to the large demand from the global market. Salmon fishing with large nets requires high technology and a deep understanding of the behavior of this species. Large nets, often hundreds of meters long, are designed to catch salmon when they migrate in large schools. This process requires precision in time and location, because salmon move seasonally and follow the natural flow of the sea. Fishermen involved in salmon fishing face many challenges. Each trip can last from a few days to a few weeks, depending on weather conditions and the distance to the fishing grounds. On the high seas, they face harsh weather, fierce winds and waves, and complete isolation. This job requires physical and mental endurance, as pulling in nets, handling fish, and maintaining boats requires not only strength but also patience. After catching salmon, the fisherman's next job is to sort, preserve, and transport the fish to the mainland. After being harvested, salmon needs to be processed quickly to ensure quality. This process includes immediate cooling on board, after which the fish will be transferred to processing plants for cleaning, filleting, and packaging. The salmon fishing industry is a significant source of income for coastal communities. It is one of the main economic sectors, providing jobs for millions of people from fishermen, processing workers, to ancillary services such as transportation, preservation, and retail. Salmon is not only consumed domestically but also exported around the world, bringing in large foreign exchange for countries with developed fishing industries. The economic value of salmon lies not only in the fish meat but also in byproducts such as fish oil, fish eggs, and other preparations. Salmon is an important source of protein in the diet of many countries. With the increase in awareness of nutrition and health, salmon is increasingly popular due to its high omega-3 content, which is good for the heart. The global salmon market is growing strongly, with increasing demand from emerging markets. The trend of salmon consumption is expanding not only in developed countries but also in developing countries, where people are starting to have higher incomes and are more concerned about their health. Salmon fishing seasons are often strictly regulated to ensure the sustainability of natural resources. Salmon are seasonal migrants, moving from deep sea to rivers to spawn. This is the time when fishing is most intense. Governments and environmental organizations often regulate fishing times and methods to protect salmon stocks and ensure that only mature, non-reproductive salmon are caught. Fishermen often begin preparing for the season several weeks before they officially set sail. It is important to inspect and maintain boats, fishing nets, and stock up on fuel and food for the trip. Once the season begins, fishing boats will move to areas known to have high salmon populations, usually areas with cold, nutrient-rich water. During the fishing season, fishermen must closely monitor environmental conditions, such as water temperature and currents, to ensure they are in the right location. Large nets are dropped into the sea and pulled through schools of salmon, then hauled aboard with the help of mechanical equipment. This requires great coordination between the crew members on board, as even a small mistake can lead to a large loss of production or even endanger lives. In recent years, technology has made great strides in supporting the salmon fishing industry. Previously, fishermen had to rely on experience and natural observations to determine the location of salmon schools. However, today, with the help of modern positioning devices such as GPS, sonar and radar, fishermen can easily identify areas with a high concentration of salmon. These systems not only increase fishing productivity but also reduce risks due to bad weather conditions. In addition, onboard refrigeration and preservation technology has helped fishermen maintain the quality of salmon from the time they are caught until they are brought back to land. Modern fishing vessels are often equipped with onboard refrigeration systems, which help preserve salmon at ideal temperatures, prevent decomposition and preserve the nutritional value of the fish. Despite the support of technology, salmon fishing still faces many challenges and risks. One of the biggest challenges is climate change, which affects ocean currents and temperatures, leading to changes in the migration trajectory of salmon. This makes it more difficult for fishermen to predict when and where to fish. In addition, overfishing and marine pollution have led to a significant decline in wild salmon populations. To cope with this situation, many countries have adopted strict management measures such as limiting the number of fishing vessels, regulating the size and duration of net use, as well as increasing protection of salmon spawning areas. Another challenge is international competition in the seafood industry. With the development of the aquaculture industry, especially industrial salmon farming, the price of wild salmon tends to decrease. Fishermen are forced to improve the quality of their products and find ways to reduce costs to maintain profits. Fishermen not only contribute to the economy through providing food but also play an important role in preserving marine culture and traditions. In many coastal areas, fishing is an integral part of community life, closely linked to local festivals, customs and practices. Experienced fishermen are not only hard workers but also custodians of valuable knowledge about the sea, weather, and ecosystems. After the salmon is caught and processed, it is distributed to many markets around the world. The market for salmon is very diverse, from retail stores, supermarkets, to high-end restaurants and hotels. Salmon can be sold fresh, frozen, or processed into products such as smoked salmon, canned salmon, and sushi. The salmon industry also faces high demands for quality and food safety. Salmon products must comply with strict regulations on hygiene and food safety, including testing for antibiotic residues, chemicals, and ensuring the absence of bacterial contamination. This requires a strict quality management process from capture, processing to transportation and consumption. Salmon has become an increasingly important part of the diet of many people around the world, not only because of its taste but also because of the nutritional benefits it provides. This consumption trend has fueled the growth of the salmon industry, creating new business opportunities and contributing to the economic growth of salmon-producing countries. However, the increased demand has also put great pressure on natural resources and marine ecosystems. This makes the management and conservation of salmon resources more urgent than ever. Governments and international organizations are working together to develop sustainable solutions, including promoting sustainable aquaculture, reducing the environmental impact of fishing operations, and educating consumers about the importance of sustainable food choices. The future of salmon fishing depends on the ability to balance economic development and environmental protection. Initiatives to develop sustainable fisheries are gaining increasing attention, including the adoption of advanced technologies to reduce impacts on marine ecosystems, the development of sustainable salmon farming methods, and improved management of salmon stocks. Fishermen and businesses in the industry also need to adapt to these changes, by improving productivity, reducing waste, and promoting social responsibility in their business operations. At the same time, cooperation between countries and international organizations will be key to ensuring a sustainable future for the salmon fishing industry, as well as protecting this valuable resource for future generations. Stories from fishermen are living proof of the hardships of life at sea. Many fishermen have been involved in the profession from generation to generation, each with their own stories of long journeys, times facing storms and peaceful moments when watching the sun rise over the sea. Fishermen not only face difficulties from nature but also from the pressures of their profession. The pressure of having to harvest enough to meet the needs of their families and the pressure of competing with other fishing boats. There are days when they have to go out to sea early in the morning and return late at night, with calluses on their hands and fatigue in their eyes. However, they remain resilient because of their love for the profession and their attachment to the sea. One of the stories often told is about the big storms that fishermen have to face. When in the middle of the vast ocean, the waves can be as high as buildings, and strong winds can blow away anything that is not tied down. In such dangerous times, teamwork and navigational skills become become extremely important. Every wrong decision can cost the lives of the entire crew. But it is also in these moments that the humanity, courage, and resilience of fishermen are most clearly demonstrated. Many coastal communities have traditional festivals to honor salmon fishing, held annually, not only to pray for a bountiful harvest but also to preserve and pass on cultural values to the next generation. These festivals are often bustling, with activities such as boat races, net pulling competitions, and even salmon cooking competitions. Festivals are also an opportunity for the community to gather, share experiences, and look to the future together. During the festival evenings, when the music plays, fishermen, their families, and friends sit together, sharing stories about their trips, about the waves, and about their dreams. Songs and dances are passed down from generation to generation, expressing gratitude to the sea and the connection between people and nature. Women play an important role in fishing communities, although they rarely go out to sea with the men. Most women in coastal communities are involved in tasks after the salmon are brought back to land, such as sorting, processing, and preserving the fish. These tasks also require skill and meticulousness, because the quality of the processed fish depends heavily on the initial handling. In addition, women also play an important role in managing the family economy and educating children. They are the keepers of the fire, maintaining stability in the family when their husbands and children are at sea. Many women are also actively involved in community activities, from organizing cultural events to participating in environmental protection programs, to ensure the sustainable development of marine resources. Large-scale salmon fishing inevitably has impacts on the marine ecosystem. When salmon numbers decrease, it can cause an imbalance in the food chain, affecting other species in the ecosystem. In particular, overfishing during the spawning season can lead to a decline in wild salmon populations. In addition, using large nets also risks catching non-target species, including small fish, marine mammals, and even endangered species. This not only harms these species but also reduces biodiversity in the area. Environmental organizations have been calling for more sustainable practices in salmon fishing, including the use of environmentally friendly nets, the application of catch quotas, and the protection of salmon spawning areas. In addition, research and development of alternative salmon farming methods are being encouraged to reduce pressure on wild fish stocks. The salmon farming industry is growing rapidly as an alternative to wild fishing to meet the growing demand of the global market. However, salmon farming also faces many challenges such as disease control, water and feed quality management, and ensuring optimal habitat for the salmon. One of the biggest problems is that raising salmon in unnatural conditions can lead to the development of infectious diseases, especially when salmon farms are located near natural waters. Diseases not only reduce farmed salmon production, but can also spread to wild salmon populations. However, salmon farming also offers many opportunities. It allows for better control of product quality, ensures food safety, and reduces pressure on wild salmon populations. New technologies such as water recirculation systems and closed-sea salmon farming are being developed to address environmental issues and improve production efficiency. Worker safety is a key issue in the salmon fishing industry, as the working environment at sea is fraught with risks. From equipment accidents to the risk of shipwreck in bad weather, fishermen are constantly exposed to potential dangers. Safety measures, including training in rescue skills, the use of personal protective equipment, and adequate onboard rescue equipment, are essential. However, these measures are not always fully implemented, especially in more economically disadvantaged regions. Improving working conditions and raising awareness of occupational safety are important parts of the sustainable development strategy of the seafood industry. In addition, accident insurance and support programs for fishermen should be expanded to protect workers in the industry. Education and training are key to developing a sustainable and productive salmon fishing industry. Training programs for fishermen on fishing techniques, fish preservation, and occupational safety are needed to improve productivity and product quality. At the same time, community education on the importance of protecting the marine environment and managing aquatic resources should also be promoted. Schools and vocational training centers in coastal areas often offer courses specifically for fishermen and their children, helping them master basic knowledge of the fishing industry, from fishing techniques to family economic management. This not only helps increase fishermen's income but also creates the next generation with enough skills and knowledge to continue maintaining and developing traditional occupations. Given the interregional migratory nature of salmon, the management and protection of salmon resources requires close international cooperation. Countries with shared maritime zones often work together to set catch quotas, protect spawning areas, and monitor fishing activities to ensure the sustainability of this resource. International organizations such as the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, have played an important role in promoting international agreements on fisheries management, including preventing illegal fishing, protecting marine biodiversity, and promoting sustainable fisheries. These initiatives not only help protect salmon stocks, but also contribute to maintaining economic stability for fishing communities, minimizing conflicts between countries over fishing rights, and facilitating the development of the blue economy. Salmon conservation is an important issue not only for countries with developed fisheries industries but also for countries with wild salmon resources. Many conservation projects have been implemented to restore and maintain salmon populations, including the restoration of natural habitats, the establishment of protected areas, and fishing bans during spawning seasons. One example is the salmon restoration programs in the Pacific Northwest, where rivers and ecosystems have been severely impacted by industrial activity. And overfishing. NGOs and local governments have worked together to restore rivers and coastal areas, creating favorable conditions for salmon to return to spawn. These conservation efforts are not only aimed at protecting a single fish species, but also at maintaining the balance of the ecosystem and protecting the economic resources of local communities. Salmon fishing is not only an important economic sector, but also an integral part of the